Okay, we'll watch a baseball movie.
Israel was interested in refinancing his home. He was approached by a variety of individuals and was actually coaxed into signing some documents he was hoping that would help him refinance his home. Turned out he actually signed title to his house over to a trust to some other individuals who were then using it in this large scheme to sell interest, fractional interests in title to get money, and then they took off with the money.
After hearing Israel's story, it was very apparent that this was something that was done to him, that he was taken advantage of, and it was our job to then go ahead and fix it.
When I found out that I was no longer the owner of the house, it was just very frustrating. I mean, I have a family, so I was like, we didn't know what to do, or we didn't know what was going to happen the next month, or because we're the owner of the house anymore.
So there were two parts to this case. One part was the loan modification. Israel was behind in his payments, and we needed to make sure that he could become current according to the bank so that they wouldn't institute foreclosure proceedings. The other part is that title was no longer in his name. So even if we modified the loan, title wasn't in his name, and so we were worried about what that result of that would be.
When PLC took my case, they said I had to wait a couple of weeks to see an attorney to volunteer to take my case, and they found someone that affirmed, and then I started feeling much better because I knew somebody was working on my case. They started mentioning that there was a chance for me to save the house. It just felt good, really good, when the judge said, so the paperwork was gonna be undone, put my name back in my house back into my name, and chance of getting some of the money that I paid back. So that was very good news, really good news.
I think I might have let out a small, like, woo, which I don't know how appropriate that is in the courtroom, but I did. And then Israel immediately looked at Ben and I just gave him a huge hug.
I'm happy, but I'm also really mad. I mean, that there is actually people like this that can do this. Take advantage of some people, not caring with families, put them on the street, because that's what they do sometimes. They take their houses, and the families have no place to go.
We've had so many cases over the past two years, basically, more than we've seen before, because of the economy and what's happening. People are losing their jobs and are unable to pay the mortgage, or they're paying the mortgage with their credit card until they can't do that anymore. And it's a huge problem.
Here, there's no question that Israel was wronged. There was somebody who scammed him. And that kind of got me going and got me thinking, well, he really needs help, and this is a case that you really want to be successful on. At the end of the day, it's not one company or another company getting, shaking hands and getting money one way or another. It's an individual whose house is on the line.
It was just very, very stressful for me, for my family, for my wife, because they didn't know what was going to happen. We're moving out, we're staying here. But now it's just like, I can come home, I'm working less, staying more with the family. So I'm very grateful for that. Lynn, Ben, Antonella, I mean, they did so much work. I wish there's a way I can do something, and, this is my house. It's, it's the dream.